Hi, this is Sandy with Mountain Computers. This is part 4 of project management. This is the wrap-up. The previous 3 each had their own unique content and approach to explaining what project management and project managers do, and that was pretty fair. I look back over the footage. And one of the things that I don't like to do is go into post like a lot of these video YouTubers do. I like to start at the beginning, go to the end, and hope it just works out. None of this cropping, clipping, stopping, splicing, flyover text, music, all that stuff. That's great if you're putting on a show, but if you're just conveying information, it's important just to be real. Present the information to the best of your ability and knowledge, and if you make a mistake, go back and correct it. And if the video is that bad, probably just delete it and start over. Mine weren't that bad. I do think that moving forward, I'm getting better, but so what? It's just part of the learning process, just like project management. 40 years ago when I did my first projects, I was pretty green, but the more you do it, the better you are. And if you have a good mentor or mentors and they know it or not, that's all that matters. So, that's a nice train. So anyhow, project managers. I have not seen a lot of video footage on what does it take to be a project manager, and I'm just going to do the who, what, where, when, why, and how on project managers. Am I a project manager? Yeah, I'm a project manager. I manage a lot of projects. One of the things that you want to do if you want to be a great project manager is build a reputation from those above you to the left and right of you and below you with this saying. And this saying is something that actually got applied to me several times. And I'll just say it, quote unquote, if you want to get something done, or if you want something done, give it to Andy. That's been my mantra. That's been my, that's what people have done to me. They've said, if you want something done, and that's all they've said at many levels, if you want something done, or if you want somebody that you can trust to get it done, give it to Andy. He'll get it done. It's always been legal stuff. It's never illegal stuff. It's always been stuff that is important at whatever level. Now, I said earlier in my videos, number 1 projects, number 1 priority projects. And that has to do with the risk being low, the reward being high. You only live on this planet so long, so your time is I'd like to get paid maximum for doing that which it's worth. I don't want to do a bunch of stuff. I mean, I admit there's a lot of things that need to be done that are of lower priorities. Well, that's not me. Unless I'm cruising but why waste my time on things that aren't important? And I think every project is important, just some are higher than others. So, with that being said, if you want something done, give it to Andy. That should be your saying. Or find a saying that people use that they can rely on giving you something to do in a project, and they always come to you. For better or worse, it's good to have somebody that knows that this is what this person can do and they can rely on it and you enjoy doing it. That's important. One of the things I want to say is if you want it done, give it to Andy. There's no qualifiers in that. I understand all of the components that go into it. It's like somebody singing to the choir. I don't go and sing to the choir. I don't tell my dentist what to do, how to do it. I just say it hurts here, not a lot of bedside manner, not a lot of filter. He just says, sit down, shut up, open your mouth, tell me where it hurts. Gets it done. I pay him, I'm out the door. That is a professional. That is what I can tolerate. That's why I interview people I interview a lot of people for a lot of other people, including my businesses and other places, and I will screen them and I will find out whether or not this person is good for that situation. And it's just human nature. A gift of discernment allows you to go a long ways in life. So project managers, remember that thing about rambling, going around the mulberry bush? I try not to do that, but I just did that, and I'm sorry. Okay, so project managers. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. So who are they? Who are project managers? I know people who say they're project managers, and they're not. But hey, and they're older. And the ones that I've experienced, have I seen a good project manager? Yes. Have I seen really bad ones? Probably more bad than good, and that's sad. And that's on paper as well as face-to-face experience, feedback, listen to what people say, how are they feeling on a project. I mean, you can't do everything for everybody, but you can, get a feeling. Who are they? So who is a project manager? A project manager is somebody who is a people person, understands the 6 M's implicitly, understands the dynamics of politics a little bit when it comes to communication. And I have learned that use your instincts is now the time to say something in the hallway or in the conference room, on the phone or in face-to-face, on paper or not. Those people, whoever those project managers are, they know how to do what they're doing in the right way at the right time. 99% of the time. Those people, where do you find those people? Who are they? Like I said earlier, any age. I find people and I nurture them, whether or not they know it or not. I don't set them up for failure, but I will check their change at the door and make sure that I always say, hey, you're pretty good at that, or you're not so good at that, or it's none of my business sometimes to give my opinion, but it is important because one of the things that I do in organizational autonomy is I have fluid access all the way through an organization. It doesn't matter from product support all the way to raw materials, all the way from finance, all the way to HR, all the way from stockholders, all the way down to, it doesn't matter, development, engineering. To be able to traverse all of those organizations, one, you have to have the opportunity. Two, you want to jump from division to division, bring with you that which you learned from that division over to this other division, and bring the divisions together. Where you see problems over here, you come over here and fix. The problems over here, you fix, and vice versa. And so you're looking at things very holistically. You're looking at things from a very macroscopic, but from the ground perspective. You know what it takes. You hear the pains. You know how to understand what the organizational issues are. So those kind of people, those project managers, are very valuable. They don't take forever. I've seen project managers that take forever. And I think they make a big deal out of things. They're not that hard. I've seen people who take 2 years to do a project that should take like 2 months. That drives me crazy. And it's all on paper. Now, things that are actually physical, construction, build, wait, settle. Outside entities have to come in and inspect. Government regulations. I understand all that stuff. And it is understandable. However, that's why you can do more than one project at a time. While you're waiting for one, you're working on another. The old saying is you should always have 2 horses in tow with you. Well, one is working great, the other one might not be, and vice versa. But if they're both working great, and that's business owner talk, you have 2 horses, that's the way you should ride. I always have 2 horses. When one's down, the other one's up, and vice versa, or they're both up, and then when they're both down, you've got a problem. What are project managers made of? They're not, I know some people that get their PMP certifications. It's just a certificate. I'd really like to know what projects they've worked on, what things have they learned, what things have they been challenged with, and what things have they succeeded with. You should have more successes than losses. Hands down, more successes than losses. Where do you find them? Everywhere. Project manager is everywhere. In the grocery store, in an elevator, on a bus, in school, in class, while you're working. I mean, they're all over the place. Do I want to have the word project manager on my title or my resume? Not really. It's like being a lawyer, or I don't want to own a restaurant. I want my best friend to be a restaurant owner. I don't want to be a lawyer, or an attorney unless it has to do with nothing that puts somebody in jail or jeopardizes my life or safety. Constitutional lawyers, I mean, there's all sorts of lawyers. But when it comes to project management, I don't know. Program managers, those are basic, they have the word manager in their name, but they really don't manage people unless they have program managers that report to them. So I've seen program managers that have no direct reports, and I don't even think they should have the word management in their name. So whatever. When do you find a project manager? When is the right time to use a project manager? The when part? I think project managers need to be applied when those three elements are in play. The scope, the time frame, and the resources. When any of those three items are in play, you need a project manager and project management tools and reporting. Even for a small project, it's good to practice large projects, you know. Why? That sort of covers the why do you need one, and how do you with project managers. Project management, it's an art and a science. More science sometimes that some people believe. They understand you got to go through all these certifications. It's like being a lawyer. You take these classes, you understand the law, but how do you know to apply it? It's like realtors. There's great realtors, but then they apply their education and they don't apply their wisdom properly. Project managers are the same way. There's an opportunity to learn, and there's an opportunity not to learn. Sometimes it's not a training opportunity. Sometimes this is not a training exercise. I've told people that before. This is not my first rodeo. This should not be your first rodeo. This is a very important project. Don't mess it up. You need your ace fighter pilot in on this one, not somebody who just got out of flight school, as the saying goes. If you're on an important project, you're bringing in your ace, your number one people. That's me. And that's not on all projects because I'm not good at everything. I'm good generally, you want people on your team that have width and depth. If they're very narrow and very deep, that's great, but you need to know that. And also in your organizational chart, in the military we have what's called a TONE. I always do this in organizations for project management, but also for asset allocation and resource and professional development and everything. I'll put all my employees in a spreadsheet. Then I'll go across all the things that we do. All of the things we do. And then I'll check in those columns the number of years that these people have these things. From programming to team management to, every skill set you can think of. And that spreadsheet becomes really wide. But I can find out through my whole organization, if I had to sell my department or sell my team or sell my company, I have a working balance sheet of the most valuable assets to your company. Those are your people. I can say, I've got 50 years of project management people here. Some of them aren't project managers, but they've been project managers. So we can always pull them in and say, hey, we're reorging, we need a project manager. I see you've got 20 years, but it's not on your resume, but you mentioned it. Would you like the job? Yes or no? So, anything else? No, I think that's about it. When it comes to project managers and finding project managers, finding them is important. Holding on to them is just as important. If a project manager is bad, it's like a volunteer. You can fire volunteers. You can get rid of a project manager pretty easily. Just say it's not working out. You want them to go off and do something else that's better, it's more fit. As one door closes, another opens. The same goes with a project. You want a project to succeed. I said that before. Project management is about the success of what you're doing. All it does is help. So, with that being said, that's all I've got for today and tonight. I'm going to go look at this and see how weird this one is, because this is my last video of the day. So again, this is Andy from Mountain Computers. Like, subscribe, and share. And sponsors. Doesn't hurt. The first 3 videos were pretty good. Yeah, I can't be too critical, but I always can go back and redo them. So if you have questions, ask. Until next time, there will be more to come, and have a good night. Bye-bye.